Hey friend, how are you doing today? Kris Krohn here, and I'm going to tell you this is a little bit more of a serious video because I can't hide my passion when it comes to the 401k conspiracy. I get myself so freaking riled up because I get so upset. I've seen too many countless people hurt by this crazy thing that we call a 401k, and it's just total madness. So check it out. I obviously got strong feelings on 401k, and I want to share why. 200 years ago in this country, we had a pension system. It was called real estate. We had land, we had farms, and our children were going to take over the farms, and then they would take care of us, and we never had to worry about retirement. When we got too old to work, we already had a system built in where we could be taken care of. So everything was great. But then the Industrial Revolution hits, and what happens? All of a sudden, factories come about, and they need to pull people off their farms. The only way they could find to do that was to set up a pension, which just basically said, hey, we're the first of our kind companies. We're going to set enough money aside that when you get old and can't work, we're going to take care of you. But you know what? That system rolled for a number of decades, and all of a sudden companies were failing on pensions and they weren't able to meet them. So the government steps in and says, hey, let's do this thing called the 401k. It'll be awesome. You set up your own dang pension and companies will do this cool little match thingy and we'll give them tax benefits if they do it. And honestly, we've gone from being wealthy real estate landowners to pensions that have flopped to 401ks where now the average person that retires has a 401k with 50 grand in it. Dude, what can you do with 50 grand? Live for a year? Cheap? Friends, when we retire, we got problems. Modern day medicine is keeping us alive longer and longer and longer. In the new biomedical space, they've got hacks now where they're actually extending life so long, it won't be very long before we see people living way longer than what we used to consider old. Now, I hope they can also retrieve some functionality from us because who wants to get older and still just be old? But here's the deal. We're getting older. We need a lot more money than a 401k can put out. I'm calling it the 401k conspiracy. And I want to help you understand why with my little friendly notepad here. Okay, there are problems with the 401k that I need you to understand. The first one is that they get set up by companies with this thing called fear of touching. Don't touch it. Stranger danger. Don't touch your 401k. If you do, we're going to penalize you. There will be taxes. You're going to have to pay your 10%. Rawr! And as a result, people will put money religiously into a 401k, but they can't actually access the money, which is weird because the money is whose? It's theirs, but they can't touch it. So there is this, don't touch it or you're going to be penalized. I'm like, dude, I don't want to give you my money in the first place. How's that a good deal? Number two, they put in the seductive match. This is a sexy woman that comes along and says, give me your money, and we as the company will match it. Well, friends, they're going to tie you up. You put in a 4% or a 6% or whatever match that you're doing, and you're thinking, I'm doing a good thing. I'm saving for retirement. And the company is matching. Look at the extra money that they're throwing in. Dude, who cares about that? It's a digit on paper. You can't touch it. When you need it, you can't touch it. That's the problem with this thing called the match. Besides, do the math on the match and come retirement, it's not going to be enough. So even though a 50% match or 100% match up to a certain point sounds alluring and amazing, if you knew at the end, fast forward to the end of the game, it wasn't going to be enough, then who cares if it sounds like a good deal? It's not enough. It's broken. And then the last thing here is that there's a total lack of leverage, which means let's say that you went in and said, you know what? I've been watching some Kris Krohn's videos here. He's going to show me how to invest in real estate. I'm going to buy a home. I'm going to crush it. I got all this money in my 401k company. Give me my 401k. I'll buy real estate. Guess what they're going to say? You got to quit the company before you can do that. And by the way, then you're going to have to pay taxes and penalties. You're screwed. Okay, I'm going to just calm down for a second. You can see why I might get a little riled up about this because I have helped 3,500 of my investors purchase hundreds of millions of dollars of homes. I've helped them in the last 5 years make over $70 million in profits. And you know what? That's real money that they can touch, they can eat, they can consume, they can reinvest, they can do what they want. And those people often came from previous jobs with 401ks. I can't tell you how many of those people had money they couldn't touch but wanted to invest. People that's all they had to invest with and were told they couldn't. And then there were some of the fortunate that had money rolled over from a previous company and they were able to use that, but then they had to pay taxes and penalties. And it all just looks like this discouraging, don't do it kind of energy. The reality that you need to understand is that the 401k is not going to retire you. It's not going to be enough. It's not going to get you where you want to go. And the sooner you realize it, the better, so that you can start planning more appropriately for the life that you want to create for yourself. Friends, the purpose of creating this video today is to stop the madness. It's because I don't want to see you hurt by blindly putting in money into something that looks seductive that can't get you where you want to go. Now, at retirement, if you want to have a very conservative life, you want to have work your whole life to get your house paid off, have some money left over in a 401k, and you want to be poor, then you absolutely should contribute to your 401k. That's a really smart thing to do. That's better than if you got no plan, then that is a plan, and this plan is better than no plan. But I'm telling you that if you subscribe and you watch these videos, I retired at 26. Now I could do it in a flash, in a heartbeat. I actually teach courses and show people how to do this. I put on events, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to help people figure out how to get where they want to go a lot faster outside of the system, in their own system, on their own terms. The reality is that I'm now 38 years old, but the last 15 years of my life, I've been able to travel where I want to travel, drive whatever cars I want to drive, live wherever I want to live. And that's all been made possible because I broke free from this garbage and from the system. Instead, I figured out how to take financial ownership of my own life. No financial planner, no 401k, no IRA, no annuity is designed to create the ultimate solution. It's designed to help you with a small part of a really big problem, which says at retirement, you don't have enough. Now, real estate is a total different game because it can be hard for some to get in that game. If you got no money, no credit, you might think it's impossible. I can show you how to get in. If you get into the game of real estate, now all of a sudden you're buying an asset with equity that appreciates, with tax benefits, with the cash flow. Hello, will you just repeat the last 10 sentences of that? I guess like a property with equity, with appreciation, with tax benefits, with cash flow. Those are just 4 of the profit centers that real estate gives. And one home won't change your life, but 20 can. And 1 is the first step of 20. In the world of real estate, I remember my real estate mentor said, Kris, I can teach you how to count to 1 million. If you were selling a tiny little fidget spinner, let's just say, and you're going to make $1 on each one of them, how many would you have to sell to make $1 million? I'm like, 1 million. I'd have to do 1 million transactions to have $1 million. He says, now fast forward to real estate. If hypothetically you can make 100,000 per home, which is high on a single family small home, but we do it. So let's just say we can count to 1 million now. 100,000, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1 million, 10, not 1 million. Real estate's not for everyone. You got to be an entrepreneur. You got to develop the right mindset. But if you're watching this video and you're like, this really makes sense, then I want to invite you to go to my website, check out the link below, and learn directly from me what it is I do and how I help people. Because my community investors, we're out there freaking crushing it. And the crash is coming. And I got to tell you, we got big smiles on our face and we can't wait for it because it means a whole new world of opportunity. We can help families. We can put them back in homes. We can help the economy recover. And you can be part of the solution and do something really meaningful. Meanwhile, your 401k, that is making someone else rich while you're getting thrown back the peanuts. Don't do that. Take control of your life. If you want to know how, click the link in the description below.